It can be an emotional and overwhelming experience. While it is important to understand the legal process, it's also essential to take into account how your actions now could affect your future. This video will provide tips on navigating the divorce process while working towards saving your marriage and family. No matter what country you reside in, USA, UK, Australia, or Canada, we have gathered facts from all 4 countries that share commonalities when it comes to successful marriages and divorces. So stay tuned until the end for some valuable insight that could help save your relationship. When facing a divorce, there are certain things men should do, and just as importantly, certain things men should not do. Don't act out of vengeance or spite. This only leads to longer proceedings and more money spent on court costs, which won't benefit anyone involved, especially any dependents. Be honest with yourself about why the marriage has become strained if possible. Sometimes this may require speaking with counseling professionals who specialize in couples therapy. Doing so can help identify issues within both parties that can be worked on before taking further action, like filing petitions for separation, divorce papers, etc. If children are involved, put them first. During such trying times, they need extra love and attention more than ever before. They need assurance that their parents still love each other despite disagreements between them as adults, even if the couple decides to separate at later stages. And remember, divorce doesn't necessarily mean children have less access to one parent. Custody arrangements should always aim at keeping joint responsibility over parenting duties even after separation takes place legally through courts, etc. Try talking openly together before making any big decisions, whether it's face-to-face conversations or by writing letters back and forth, or both. The key here is communication. Try explaining how each person feels without blaming one another in order to come up with mutually agreeable solutions moving forward. Consider professional mediation services. These usually involve third-party intermediaries whose job is not only facilitate conversations but also offer up unbiased perspectives based off years of experience dealing with similar cases across different industries and countries. This kind of expertise often helps couples decide amicably where once seemingly insurmountable problems existed due solely lack thereof knowledge/skill set within spouses themselves. 6. Understand cultural norms related to specific rights given under laws applicable to respective countries like USA, UK, Australia, Canada. When seeking advice prior to taking major steps such filing official paperwork requesting separations, etc. This includes researching individual state regulations regarding child support payments, among many other nuances depending on the particular situation faced by parties directly impacting these matters, that is, husband, wife, etc. Lastly, don't give up hope. Statistically speaking, most marriages survive difficult times without having to resort to drastic measures deemed necessary. Those actively seek sever ties completely, no matter the cost associated doing so. For example, lost wages, time spent away from loved ones, possibly disrupting lives forever, etc. Ultimately, success rate highest amongst those willing stay committed, promise until death us do part. Regardless ups downs life throws way everyone else around world experiencing same things. Despite tough odds going against them, these individuals fight tooth and nail to keep families together, happy, vibrant members of society whole. This video does not provide legal, financial, or tax advice. The information provided in this video is for informational purposes only and should not be interpreted as legal advice. If you require legal advice, please contact a qualified attorney, for example, by signing up for a free course on our website Divorce Lab Pro. We will connect you with the pre-selected lawyers or other experts you may need. Join our free course to learn how to navigate the divorce process. Learn about the negative impact of divorce on you, children, and family, and how to protect your rights. Pre-selected experts are available to help men through this difficult time. Get it free now at Divorce Lab Pro. Respect your wife and treat her with kindness. Show her that you care about her feelings, thoughts, and opinions. Listen to your wife when she speaks and take the time to understand what she is saying. Spend quality time together as a couple, go on dates, watch movies, or just talk about life in general. Make sure both of you are involved in decision-making for the family. Don't make decisions without consulting each other first. Communicate openly and honestly with one another. Be willing to compromise if necessary. Don't keep secrets from each other. It will only lead to mistrust down the line. Be supportive of one another during difficult times. Offer emotional support whenever possible. Take responsibility for your actions and apologize when needed instead of blaming each other for mistakes made by either party in the marriage relationship. Celebrate successes together no matter how small they may seem at first glance. Appreciate all that your spouse does for you even if it doesn't always get noticed or acknowledged right away. Avoid making comparisons between yourself, your spouse, and others, friends, family, as this can create resentment within the marriage relationship. Don't let money become an issue between yourselves. Agree on a budget and stick to it. Find ways to show affection towards one another, such as holding hands, cuddling up while watching TV, etc. Talk through any issues before they escalate into arguments. Try not to raise voices or resort to name-calling. Respect boundaries set by either partner and don't push them too far out of their comfort zone unnecessarily. Offer words of encouragement often so that both partners feel appreciated and valued within their marriage relationship. Seek professional help if needed, for example, couples counseling sessions, which can help resolve conflicts more effectively than trying alone. Remember why you got married in the first place. Focus on those reasons rather than dwelling on negative aspects, which could potentially cause further damage over time. Even if you feel hopeless about saving your marriage right now, there are useful strategies available for couples looking for guidance during tough times like getting divorced. Take advantage of professional mediation services available upon request from most local governments, along with finding reliable sources online. Research relevant information affecting case, personally applicable law pertaining jurisdiction, current living location. Above all else, remember importance dedicating hours required, building strong foundation, trust, honesty needed, long-lasting relationships thrive, grow strong, united front, protect, nurture, bright futures, generations come. Join our free course to learn how to navigate the divorce process. Learn about the negative impact of divorce on you, children, and family, and how to protect your rights. Pres-elected experts are available to help men through this difficult time. Get it free now at DivorceLab Pro.